This is a quick little video that we're going to show where we're going to get the Acuity AR100 laser sensor, and it has pretty much the same communication as the AR500, but this is our preliminary effort where we have the AR500 software, and we're going to open that up. And typically I would recommend you click on the AR500, and it's going to pull up the AR500 software screen. And this is where we're going to show you how you connect it. So here I've got an RS-232 connection, and we're going to use COM5, and I've got a USB to serial converter on my connectivity kit, a baud rate of 9600, and then I'm going to click on device identification, and let's try that again. And we're going to try that one more time, and here you can see that it's found it. You can also use the device manager to go and verify what COM port to use. In our case, we had COM5 9600 baud, and as you can see, once I connected it, the grayscaled areas will light up. And let's just sort of go through it real quick. So here, next step, these are the default rates that I typically use that come up with the program, and you can see that it has found it, and it put its serial number here, and it also says we have a base distance or an offset distance of 30 millimeters, and we have a 50 millimeter measuring range. So this will measure from 30 to 80 millimeters from the face of the laser. And to start it, you can hit it once, request, which just gives you a single shot measurement, or we can stream the data. And so when we click on this, we should start seeing the graph start collecting data. And then basically, in regards to the graph, here you can see we have a min and a max peak. It's showing the peak. Peak to peak, we're seeing about a 3 micron deviation. Decimal places, we can move it out to 4 points or 5 points. And here you can see the number, and I'm within 44 millimeters of the measuring span. We also have some other options here where we can use the grid or get rid of the grid, or we can take off the auto scaling. And so that auto scaling shows us that the real true resolution floor level. And so we can click that back on. We can also change the number of points in the X part of the graph. So here we can put 100 points, and now you're seeing it's going to scale a lot faster. And if we go to 1,000, it'll slow it down, and then 10,000, it'll even slow it down more. We also have buttons to read the graph data from a file, or we can save it. We can write it to a file, then we can call it back up and look at it. Also, some other good functions to use is we'd hit stop. So there is a set a 0 point at the current point, right? So we can set that, and here you'll see that it zeroed it out. There are also some logic settings, measurement averaging settings, and it's saying here the maximum time to hold the last valid is 10 milliseconds. Typically, we don't have to make any adjustments on the exposure time or the sampling mode. We have time or trigger. In this case, we're doing time, and we have sampling mode of 5,000 microseconds. Also, we do have analog settings. Here we've got it turned on. The window control means that we're going to do, it goes from 0 to 10. We have it 0 to 100%. So we're going to scale 0 to 10 volts over that full 50 millimeters of range. So just a nice little, and we'll typically hit streaming again here, and the data should start running, it should start scrolling. Just a nice sort of easy setup software that we have for the AR100 laser.